The pension reform bill that recently became law was touted to save an estimated $160 billion over 30 years. After several lawsuits, it's now in the courts, with the law expected to go to the Illinois Supreme Court. As for the 4 Republicans for governor, Bill Brady voted for the law, Kirk Dillard voted against it, Dan Rutherford thinks it's unconstitutional, and Bruce Rauner wants to move to a 401k-style plan. We asked the candidates if the bill is found constitutional, if any more pension reform would need to happen.
We obviously are going to hear from Mayor Emanuel, who has pension issues up in Chicago, but the dollar amount seems to work. I just wasn't happy with the way it was put together.
If it's constitutional, I believe it's what we need, and it will solve our problems. I will tell you that when we look at Tier 2 employees, once this is constitutional, we've got to make sure that that's an equitable system as well, and we're going to need to focus on that.
I'll implement it. I mean, that will be the law of the land, and I'll implement it.
For future work, folks should pay into a second pension plan, a defined contribution plan, or a 401k style plan.
We also asked the 4 about term limits.
I've always supported term limits for legislative leaders. I voted for recall of public officials. Term limits, and I'm term limiting myself, as is my running mate Jill Tracy from Quincy by running for governor and lieutenant governor. The devil's in the details.
Whether you like Mike Madigan or not, you got to believe that 40 years of control of the Illinois House is just not the way our government was set up to run.
I support term limits for the elected leadership of the General Assembly. I support drawing maps through the Fair Map amendment that I'll be very actively supporting to allow non-incumbents to draw maps so that they don't do it for their own self-preservation.
8 years for everybody in the legislature. Every legislator can serve 8 years maximum, and then they need to leave. We'll get that passed because the vast majority of voters in both political parties support term limits.
In Springfield, Andrew Hansen, ABC News Channel 20.